You don't have to be mad to live here, but it certainly helps. Do you like the Christmas decorations? I've got the trimmings out for you. Do you think they're very fetching? Barbie. Hello, Eric. I have a bag of Christmas accoutrements. So I thought it would be moderately entertaining to start the festive season with a little bit of cheering. Hi Marissa, if you're wondering what you've come to, it's the Funny Farm. So I've called this meeting to order. So what are we doing today? Right, well, it's Christmas, obviously. Our cactus has got the Christmas decorations up. I've got a cactus on my I've got a cactus on my desk, and I kid not, we keep saying, what are we going to do when it reaches the ceiling? We're going to have to chop it. So last year when I got little bits of Christmas decorations, I hung them all on top of the cactus. Hello Frosty, hello Janice. So I have a couple of shout outs to do, but I'm going to make sure that Phil's with us. So Phil, definitely, you need to tell me when you arrive, and I'll do the shout out, because there's no point in doing it until you're here, is there? And Paul and Diane Williams from Bartley Green asked for a shout out as well. Hi Jen. Hi Russell. Oh, we're all here today, aren't we? We're all ready for a brew. And I think, hold on, I thought that was tea coming. This is husband. Poor long suffering husband. He's got a bag full of post to take to the post office. Yes, tea mans. I've heard the kettle, Jane.
I have my instructions. I'm off.
Bye.
Bye.
I look like a Christmas tree. I'm an elf, obviously. It's an elf. I do have other headgear. Other headgear is available. So we'll do them. I'll try and sort of read shout outs out in little batches. And then I've got a couple here that we need to make sure that that we get. I feel a little bit like I've got my head. Yes, it is your Christmas card on the way, Eric. How am I doing today, my lovely? Where's his Bobby's Christmas attire? Is he Grinch? Grinch. Right, so what do we know? What do we know this week? I think we've just gone a little bit wonky, haven't we? I'm going to have to just straighten that up. I'm a little bit obsessive when it comes to things being square. That's better. And I can't possibly sit and talk to you when you're on a slight slant. Here he comes T-Boy. Round of applause for Derek. You're not stopping, dear?
No, I'm going to do a bit of thinking.
Right, go on then. You're going to do your thinking. Got something interesting brewing. If it comes off, I can't possibly tell you now because I'd have to shoot you. But hopefully, watch this space. After Christmas, we might have something really good to show you. So what do we know this week? Right, well, we'll start with, obviously today is the last day of national lockdown. And then tomorrow things, no elf costume. If Kevin's a Grinch, he's a double Grinch. Tomorrow is the start of Tears Before Christmas. So tomorrow, Blackpool, FYLDE Coast, Wyre, Cleveland's, St Anne's, etc. all going to tier 3. Now there's been a lot of contention about that locally because our infection rates are very low at the moment. They're practically the lowest in Lancashire. So that's kind of gone down a little bit like a lead balloon with people that yeah, exactly. With people that are running businesses and trying to function and all the rest of it. But nonetheless, non-essential retail reopened. So this week, my mission is to go and visit Affinity. Hello, Trevor from Blackburn. Is to go and visit Affinity, which is obviously better known to all of us as Freeport. So I'm going to go there tomorrow afternoon and I'm going to have a look at the pretty twinkly lights and video what's to do at Affinity. I haven't been to the Freeport for ages, and I can still call it Freeport better than Affinity. And then on Thursday morning, I'm going to Blackpool again, and I'm going to go and see what's happening inside the Hounds Hill, because they've got their Christmas trimmings up as well. Santa is visiting the Hounds Hill, so I'm going to go and have a look at will it be busy? I don't think Affinity will be mobbed, and Blackpool probably will be moderate on Thursday. But like I said, our infection rates are quite low, and as long as you wear your mask, I tend to keep my hands off things, and I don't sort of don't touch the buttons on the lifts and all that kind of stuff. And if I need to do anything, I do it with my little finger, and then I make sure that I'm not collecting germs. And I've got my gel in one pocket, my mask in the other, and I'm only walking around videoing anyway, so keeping away from people generally. Yeah, so is anybody here that's in tier 1? Because from what I can gather, everybody's either in 2 or 3. And I think really when there's my view is that when there's a vaccine around the corner, I think it's probably best not to come out. And it is crap, Frosty, I agree. Yeah, it's all very weird. It's just not right, is it? I'll be glad when we're released. I mean, I need releasing. Look at me. I need releasing from from the institution. Yes, we're all in the same boat, so at least everybody knows what everybody's talking about. It's not like it's just happening in one place and everybody else is having a whale of a time, because we're all suffering, aren't we? So while we're on that subject, which shop are you looking forward? Type on card machines through a plastic bag. Well, actually, just use go on, contactless. Please release me, let me go. Yes, I don't love you anymore. I just use contactless, and you just hover your card over the top of the machine, and you don't need to touch anything. So that's much better. What was I saying? Yeah, shops. Which shops are you looking forward to going in most? It's very difficult to look at me into without trying to giggle. I've got to say I'm really looking forward to going in the works, and there are 3 works on the FYLDE Coast. I don't think there's one at St Anne's. No, there's 3. There's one at Affinity, there's one at Cleveley's, and there's one at Blackpool. So during the course of the next couple of weeks, I shall be frequenting all 3. So I'm going to go in the one at Affinity when I'm there. Freeport, Jane. It's very difficult calling it Affinity. Frosty's got most of his Christmas gifts. He's bought them online. Yes, I just like the works. I'm not even getting paid to say that. I just love wandering around and rummaging and buying stuff and coming out with all kinds of stuff that you don't need. If you saw how many notebooks I've got in my cupboard, I could stock the works. I've got that many. But I've got to say I'm looking forward to going in it. So I shall be going in the one at Freeport, and I shall be going in the one in Blackpool. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know what I buy, because I'm sure to buy something. Fed up of buying online. Primark, Poundland. Oh, Seaside Emporium. That's a good plug, that one, Jane. Yeah, Poundland's good for all kinds of different. Joking apart, what did I buy in Poundland the other day? Oh, I got some slippers. I'll show you my slippers, shall I? Are you ready? This is top class stuff, this. £2.50 they were, because my others have got a big hole in the bottom. So there you go. We like Poundland. We've got a nice Poundland in Cleveley's. So Frosty went to Curry's near where he lives and a few of the drive-throughs, and it took £5 to get my items. I don't quite understand that. Do you mean 5 minutes? Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's better. Smythe's toy shop with queues for. I know that's one thing I don't like about this lockdown business. All this queuing. And yesterday when I went to the post office, it was raining. So all the shops that had got queues outside, I just walked straight past. I thought, there's no way I'm standing there queuing and waiting. Anyway, football. Oh, Andrew Morrison can't wait to get back to watching football. No. Anyway, moving on. I think that's enough of shops for this minute. So, locally on the FYLDE Coast, we've been having a bit of a kerfuffle this week. Bit of local news for you while we're having a chat. So, apparently, Fleetwood swimming baths is going to remain closed because the powers that be in the upper echelons of Wyre Council have decided that Garstang is within a reasonable travelling distance for everybody who lives in Fleetwood, Cleveley, Thornton and Poulton. So we are expected to use their swimming baths. So that's been a bit of a kerfuffle. And the people who use Fleetwood baths and live in the area are now campaigning to get Fleetwood baths reopened. And the people that are watching this, that are not actually FYLDE Coastonians, will have no idea probably where Garstang is. And it's in that mysterious land of over Wyre. Yes, we'll put them in a bubble, in a pool. Boom, boom. Only if you've got fairy liquid in it. It's in that mysterious land over Wyre. Now, I drove round ages looking for over Wyre when I first came here, but over Wyre is over the other side of the river Wyre. And you'll not even have noticed that, but when you come off the motorway, if you come the slow way down through the windy roads and all the back streets, you pass a turn off for a place called Sharp Bridge, and that's where the River Wyre is. So Garstang is nearer to Lancaster than it is to Cleveley's. So that's one kerfuffle for this week. In Cleveley's, we've been trying to get, well, we've been looking at a plan to temporarily pedestrianise the town centre to make space for people to be able to shop safely, because Cleveley's has been busy all the way throughout lockdown. It's been really busy, to be fair. And this started in June, summer definitely. So a proposal was put forward to pedestrianise the town centre. Anyway, I found out on Friday afternoon that the pedestrianisation plan had reached a complete stop, and instead the Lancashire County Council lorry turned up yesterday and started putting bollards down all of the parking bays along the main road, so that the parking bays are close to cars, but people that are on the pavement can kind of spill out onto them. This is on the narrow side of the road opposite Home Bargains in Iceland. So we're all bemused, mystified and puzzled about that one, and why that decision has been taken. So we've got a kerfuffle in Cleveley's. And then in Blackpool, they've got demolition wars. So you've probably been watching the saga of the demolition of Wilkinson's, and obviously that's been a big ongoing project and being planned, because that's where the tram shelter's going. And I've got various different videos on my channel about the relocation, the new tram terminus at the top of Talbot Road, and the new hotel, and so that's all very exciting stuff, and we're all really looking forward to that happening. Anyway, on the seafront, there's a bit more demolition going on. It's been like demolition derby, because the Ambassador Hotel has had an emergency demolition order put on it, and I'd videoed that last week. Was it last week? Goodness me. Yeah, Wilco's is nearly down. I got quite a surprise when I saw it. There's only a tiny little bit left right at the very back near Sainsbury's. So last week I went and did a video of the ambassador. I'm going to go back and have another look at that and catch that as they're finishing that off. So that was on the point of collapse. So I know just how it feels, because I often think I'm on the point of collapse. So that's Blackpool's Barbon, Sedge, Georgina. Where's Barbon? Barbon? The ambassador is nearly done too, says Frosty. Frosty's obviously been watching the other Blackpool vloggers because they've been out more often than I have, but I have other things to do as well, which is a shame, because it would be lovely to be able to just wander about all day making videos. So, my next question to you lovely people. Eric thinks there ought to be a risk assessment done on the empty seafront buildings after what happened with the ambassador, and that's not a bad idea actually, because there's quite a few that are empty and left away. So my next question to you lovely people that are watching on this live video is, when I go to Fleetwood tomorrow and when I go to Blackpool on Thursday, is there anything that you'd particularly like me to video? Because obviously a lot of things are closed. It's December now. I mean, it's, what time is it? It's 2:15, and it's already going very sort of grey and cold, and it's not the kind of weather that you want to be making videos. So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just go and have a mosey and see what we can see and see what's happening, and you know, what's happening in the world? I'm quite happy to do that. I can do a walk round in Blackpool town centre, and we can have a look and see how busy it is as we've gone back into tier 3. I can do the same in Fleetwood, although I would imagine Fleetwood is quite quiet. The Grundy's closed, Eric. I'm sure at some point they will let me inside, but at the minute I believe it's closed because of the coronavirus caper. I don't know whether it's opening. I've not seen anything yet. Excuse me while I just put my cardigan back round my arms. Gone a little bit cool. I think the ambassador got turned down before it fell down. You're not kidding. If you go out, make sure you wrap up and keep warm. Oh, I will, Michael. I've bought a new coat, especially for the occasion. That's better. Oh, that's better. Right, so what else have I got to tell you this week? What else have I got to tell you? Yeah, we've got the competition. There's a new one that we drew last week, and we're still looking for Tom's address. Tom Mitchell, are you with us today? Is Tom Mitchell there? I need Tom Mitchell, Phil Deafley, and Paul and Diane from Bartley Green in Birmingham. So if you're there, can you give us a comment, and then we know that you've tuned in and you're with us, because Tom's the winner of the first competition. So there are some Christmas cards here waiting for Tom, and we've got the next one to draw that I said we would do last week. So these lovely Christmas cards, these lovely special ones, are winging their way to one lucky live watcher. So you see, you've got to be in it to win it. There are benefits to joining in with the funny half hour, and we'll draw that at the end just before we part company. I know who the winner is. She says having a bit of a shudder. So take your pick. Fleetwood Beach and around the cafe. Yes, Phil, I can do that. Phil Deafley. Hi, Phil. I need to give Phil a shout out. Sadly, last week Phil told me that it was his 50th birthday after I'd done the videos for the day that it was his birthday. So I promised that when we did the live video today that I would give him a shout out and say a happy birthday, because he's also got twins, Reese and Ruby, who are also 5, and it's their birthday. So I'd like to say happy birthday to Phil. Reese and Ruby, and I hope you had a lovely time. And believe me, 50 is not too bad. In fact, it's a nice age to get to, because you get to 50 and you can't, you just, I mean, you know, look at me. Do I look like I'm bothered about what I look like? My mum's always on about Liberty bodices. She used to wear Liberty bodices. You're showing your age now, Eric. Right, so what we need now is Tom and Paul and Diane Williams from Bartley Green. You're very welcome, Phil. Did you have a nice day? Did you manage to have something of a salvaged birthday, even though you were stuck in lockdown? 50 is young, exactly. I'm going to go to Polton one day, Kat. I'm waiting for the shops to open, because there's no point me going and doing it when it's closed, because it literally would look short. So I've got a list a mile long of, this is my little notebook with all my ideas in. You're a young chicken, you, Eric. This is my ideas book, this is where I jot everything down. So I've got lists that long. Oh, Frosty, did we do my shorts as well? How is the Grand? Well, the Grand at the moment is closed. But they got recovery grants, so they are hopefully tiding themselves over until Cumbria, Georgina. Yes, I shout out for Cumbria. I forgot what I was saying. Do you know, this week I've done nothing but just stop in mid-sentence. I've been full flow. I do this thing, I mean, it's quite apt that I've got this on, isn't it? Because I do this thing where my eyes kind of come out on stalks, and I go like that, and my head wobbles when I start getting animated. And I'll be full flow going through a sentence, and then all at once it just goes like that, and I'm like, what should I say next? And it's just gone. Anyway, yes, Aldo mentioned my beach huts. They're this week's occupational therapy. I'll show you one of my beach huts. I'll show you the blue one in the middle. So we made cottages first, and now I'm expanding in more ways than one. So this is one of my new little lovely beach huts, all made from recycled driftwood. Do you like the little fence? So I've been sat. Hello to Michael's friend who comes from Blackpool, whatever her name is. Yes, I was talking about the Grand, wasn't I? Daniel. Yes, so I'm going to hopefully go and do another follow-up with the Grand when they get back open again. So they should be all right financially until next year, and I think they'd be Armageddon if that ended up with trouble. So features. This is quite a funny story, this. So my lovely husband, who you saw disappear into the post office earlier, he's been cutting all these bits of wood up for me. Bit of a team effort. So he does the sewing through the thick wood, and he's got a Dremel thing. It's not a proper branded Dremel. It's a fake Dremel from Lidl. It's very good. And he showed me how. I was always the kid with the hammer and the nails. Showed me how to use the Dremel. So I've been sat dremeling all my little bits of wood and cutting my doors, and these are those you know, those wooden skewers that you make kebabs with. This is wooden skewers. So I've cut them all down. I've drilled the wood. I've sanded all the little sticks into shape. I haven't cut myself yet. That's a good start, isn't it? And you know when the plastic washed up on the beach and we got all those little flecks of plastic, and I collected some sand. well, this is the sand, so I sat and riddled all the little bits of plastic out of it. So this is the sand that was left from it. So there you go. So that's my new invention. So if you particularly like my beach huts, this is where I turn into QVC. They are available on seasideemporium.co.uk. There are 3 with the stripes running that away, and I'm just finishing 3 with the stripes running that away, which will be online soon. So tonight I shall be putting the bunting up and doing the grass. So there you go. That's my new forte. I'm going into 25 quid frosty. They are. Property development. Yes, Jane. Jane says plenty of wood on all the building sites. I was stood at the side. I was stood at the side of the Ambassador when they were demolishing, when I was videoing them demolishing it, thinking, all that wood, all those nails. I'm sad, aren't I? Anyway, oh, I've gone warm again now. I just kind of keep taking my cardigan on and off when I've flicked some grass into my tea. In fact, I think it might be. Do you think that's grass or a pebble? It's dropped off me. It's dropped off my cottage into my tea. Never mind. The only thing that's left is the back of the Ambassador. I'm going to have to get a move on then, aren't I? Little slurp, that's better. Right, so that's that. Right, what else was I going to tell you? I'm sure there was something else I was going to tell you. Right, let me just write that down then, because you said you wanted me to do the beach and anything in Blackpool. Do you want Blackpool town centre, or do you want the seafront, or do you want both? I'm writing it down on my bit of paper, because by the time I've finished talking to you, I'll have completely forgotten. I'm terrible, honestly. I'm surrounded by, you can't see my desk, but I'm surrounded by bits of paper and things written down. Both. Fine, that's the job done, Eric. We will do that. So, any questions, anybody? I'll give you a second to type them. Hole in the wall cafe. Jane wants the hole in the wall cafe. Woo! Drop my head. Well, that's a bit off the beaten track, but why not push the boat out? Push the boat out where? Well, funnily enough, you know, Norma says as long as it's not seagull pulling your teeth. We've got a tame seagull. Now, seagulls... Oh, Premier Inn. I've asked about that. I've contacted them and apparently they are not letting people in yet. But I've got a plan to ask. Yes, we have got heating on. But I think it's my age. I've got a plan for Premier Inn. I'll write that down. Have a think about your questions while I tell you about my seagull. You can see that we've got Velux windows in our office roof. Well, I've got one here right above my desk, and they've got sort of frosted film on them. So Fleetwood Market, I think, I'm not sure whether it's closed, Andrew. And above this one, there's a gap about that wide in the frosting, and our cheeky seagull, he sits on the roof up here, looking through this gap, watching me, sat at my desk, and then he starts tapping on the table. Sunny Bournemouth, sunny in Bournemouth. It's not sunny here. It's been good. Yes, Frosty, our seagull does look for food. Is our pet. It's a completely wild bird. We've been feeding rusty nails. Alright, I'll come back to that, Aldo. We've been feeding him. He's called Homer for must be 10-11 years. So he's got to be. He must be sort of 15-20 years old. His wife's disappeared. Somebody else christened him Homer. It weren't my choice of name. His wife's disappeared in the last, I should say, 2 months. So I reckon she's come to a sticky end somewhere. And he's obviously getting an old bird now. You can tell he is, because he's not holding his ground quite as well. But they live for about, I think they live for about 15, 20 years. That's if they don't get knocked in the neck or knocked down or something. So they're quite long lived. I'm just writing something down. I'll come back to that in a minute. So we feed him every day, and he sits on strategic points around the house looking through different windows to catch our attention and make sure that we don't forget that he's there. And then if we're a little bit late getting up in the morning to feed him, he comes knocking on the back window like this. Did you see the camera bubble now? And then the cheeky thing, you've seen these stairs up to our office. There's a window at the bottom of the stairs. So he stands at the back of the window, banging on the glass, because he knows we're up here. Cheeky monkey. It's very funny. It's very tame. Seagulls in Blackpool can fly with just one wing, as they have fish and chips under the other one. Don't laugh. It might be true. Oh. A seagull ate a rabbit? Ooh. Do you now know why you've never seen a baby seagull or a pigeon? No, I've not. Joel is Jane's grandson. She's seen him on camera tonight. And I need to do a shout out for the schools in, I'm going to say, Sedgebury? Terrible pronunciation. And Dent in Cumbria. Cornish pasties. Oh, I could just eat a Cornish pasty. And Aldo wanted to know if I ever got to the bottom of the rusty nails. Now, you noticed that I got a big rusty nail for a clothes prop on my beach hut. And they are genuinely rusty nails out of the garage then. But I wanted little tiny rusty nails to make fences. And my friend Keith gave me a bag of rusty nails. Hiya from Boston in, go on, is it Lincolnshire? I'm really showing myself all now. My geography's awful, you know. It's really, really terrible. I get, in fact, I get lost much past, you know, I'm 55. So, any questions? Any questions? Am I going to dress up the premiering Christmas tree and sneak in that way? Well, apparently Colin from the Seaside channel had said that there was they won't let people in, but I've got a plan to see if I can shortcut that. Crack in the seawall, says Eric. That crack's been in that seawall for donkey's years. I don't think that seawall's going anywhere anytime soon. And no, we're not getting any new steps. We're just getting rocks to stabilise the seawall. And he's talking about this morning's video, which is all about how the beach moves about and why the council monitor it and what they do if it's found to be moving more than it should do. Right, I think it must be competition time now. Are you ready? Are you ready, folks? Did we ever find Paul and Diane Williams from Bartley Green? Anyway, shout out to you. I think spare rusty nails, you could attempt to sell them online. Really? I've seen them for sale on eBay while looking for you. Goodness me. Just imagine. If anybody, little advertisement at this point, if anybody would like to buy any of our beautiful Christmas cards, they come in various different designs. This is a new design for Christmas 2020. Blackpool Tower, Fleetwood Lighthouse, the Clock Shelter at Cleveland's, Lytham Windmill and St Anne's Bandstand. They're all available to buy on our website, SEASIDEEmporium.co.uk. Link in the description. Thank you for the reminder, Frosty. I'm not used to doing all that bit, you see. Yes, I do, Russell. I'll come back to that in a second. So we'll do the competition. Let me just write that down. Waves in winter. So these cards are going to, drum roll and fanfare. Are you ready? Astonished Celt. Now, I do believe Astonished Celt might also go by the name of Jane. Am I right? Oh, are you there? Can you hear me, Mother? She's gone to sleep. I know she's there because she's been watching. Come on, Jane. Chippy choppy. She's not there. She's not listening. She'll be astonished when she knows that she's won. So I need your address. And if anybody knows Tom Mitchell, can you give him... You're shy. Give over. You're never shy. If you're called Jane, you can't be shy. And if anybody knows Tom Mitchell, let me know. And we will make sure that Tom gets his Christmas cards. And if Tom doesn't... Tom, you are astonished. Exactly. Astonished Celt. Tom doesn't shape himself and send us his address in the next week, we're going to give them away to somebody else, I reckon. So Russell asked if I knew why waves are bigger in winter, and I would assume, this is a guess, somebody else might have a better idea, I would assume it's because you get bigger storms, more wind, bigger weather systems out at sea, because waves start out at sea, and then the turbulence brings its way in, and what you'll see on a beach is the end of a wave system, because waves travel through water like they do through light, that starts way out in the sea, I think. So I think that brings this afternoon's chat to a conclusion, because I've got loads to do. I've still not finished my year end yet, Tony. There's a bag full of them to come, hats. I've still not finished my books yet for October and my year end, which was the 31st of October. So I have got to get that done. So we're going, I think we'll call an end to this afternoon's funny half hour. We've been nearly 40 minutes now. And we'll see you next time. So given the fact that it's going to be a miserable festive season relative to what they normally are, I think we might do this again next week. Shall we do it again next week? Yes. There's a slight time delay in me talking and you answering. And for the benefit of the people that have just joined us, I don't always look like that. I'll take them off and then you can see what I look like normally. Right. Oh, yes. Right. Okay. In that case, then, we will be back next week, and I shall call this afternoon to order. 2 o'clock, Tuesday afternoon. Get your biscuits and your tea ready. And we will see you for more chat next week. I shall make notes about what to tell you. See you later. Bye.